For the rest of this chapter, we're going to start honing in on quantitative data, so numbers, and start talking about how to analyze them. So first, a measure of central tendency is a value that represents a typical or central entry of a data set. And there's going to be a couple different ones that we talk about. Each one has their merit. We'll know which one to use when we want to. First is the mean, which is the sum of all data entries. So you're just going to add up all the data entries and then divide by the total number of entries. It's essentially the average. And there's going to be two different symbols depending on if we're talking about a population or a sample. So the population mean is the lowercase Greek letter mu, and that's equal to the sum. Remember that this capital letter sigma means add a bunch of things together. The sum over all data entries divided by the total number of entries. And then the sample, which is read as x bar, is equal to the sum of all data entries over little n. So little n is the sample size that we have, big N is the population size. And a easy way to keep track of what symbol means what is that the Greek letter is for population characteristics, and Latin letters like X or Y or S are for sample statistics. We're going to look at this example here. So the price in dollar for a sample of round-trip flights from Chicago, Illinois to Cancun, Mexico are listed. What is the mean price of the flights? So using this, we need to first find sigma x. All right, so we're going to just add up these data values. Right, and you can do this probably quicker in a calculator. And once you add that all up, you end up getting 36.95. And so since we're taking a sample, we use x bar. It's going to be the sum of our data values over the sample size, n. So we end up getting 3695 divided by, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in our sample. So this roughly gives us 527.9. So the mean ticket price for flights is going to be 327.9. So some people are paying less than the mean, some people are paying way more than the mean, and some people are paying kind of close to the mean. So the next measure of central tendency we can talk about is called the median. You may have heard this before. What we have to do is take our data set, order it, either from smallest to largest or largest to smallest, doesn't matter. Once it's ordered, we're going to find the center of this, dividing our data set into two equal parts. So if the data set has an odd number of entries, then the median is just the middlemost entry. And if our data set has an even number of entries, then what we do is we take the average, so again, the mean, of the two middle data entries. Going back to our first example, let's order it. So we have 388, 397, 397, 427, 432, 782, and 872. This is ordered. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all together. Since 7 is an odd number, the median is just going to be the middle. So for us, the middle is 427. Well, let's suppose that the flight price for the first example excludes the price 432. So we have 388, 397, 397, 427, 782, and 872. Now we want to find the median of that. Since we took away one of our data values, we now have 6, which means that we have an even number. So we take the middle two, and find the average. So 397 plus 427 over 2, which gives us 412. And that's going to be the median for this new data set when we removed one of the values. And then another one, right? So we have mean, median, and then we have mode. So the mode of a data set is the data entry that occurs with the greatest frequency. So the one that pops up the most often. Now a data set can have one mode, more than one mode, or no modes. If no entry is repeated, so let's say that everything happens once or everything happens 5 times, everything has the same likelihood of happening, then we say that this data set has no mode. Another special one is when you have data sets that have 2 modes. So 2 values have the same number or the same frequency. And this type of data set is called bimodal. And what we want to do is we want to find the mode of the flights listed in the first example. So if we just bring this back up here and we look at our data set, only 397 occurs twice. Everything else happens once, which means that the mode is 397.